Tite Kubo as an author revels in the poetic, symbolic interpretations of writing. The first page of every volume has a poem written by Kubo himself. He adores the double meanings of words, the duality of expressions, and the overarching message it conveys. Throughout the treasure trove of riches that is Bleach, Kubo lays down numerous concepts and phrases, but in my opinion, there is that one phrase that stands above them all. This one phrase has embedded into it one of the core themes and messages of Bleach, and in this video, I will lay my claim as to why this phrase is the most important phrase in all of Bleach. Welcome to the channel. My name is Rebirth, and I believe that the blade is me is the single most important phrase in Bleach. Here's why. Cast your minds to chapter 66 of the Bleach manga. The title of that chapter is The Blade and Me. This is the chapter where Ichigo summons Zangetsu. Move forward all the way to chapter 541 entitled The Blade and Me 2. This is the chapter where Old Man Zangetsu reveals the truth about not actually being Zangetsu. In this chapter, he steps aside and allows Ichigo to attain his true power. Now go one step further to chapter 542 entitled The Blade is Me. This is the chapter where Ichigo gets his dual Zanpakuto, and it's in this chapter where the reforging of his power is complete. So the reason I did what I just did is to show you the roadmap. When Ichigo first called out Zangetsu, Kubo called it the Blade and Me. When he was in the process of reforging Zangetsu, Kubo called it the Blade and Me 2. And then after the reforging was complete, he called it the Blade is Me. One question, why? What is the significance of this phrase? To understand it, allow me to present you with some Bleach concepts. Let's start from here. What is the relationship between a Soul Reaper and a Zanpakuto? As per Bleach theory, the Zanpakuto is born from the Soul Reaper and the two are one. The Soul Reaper forges a relationship with the Zanpakuto, and the closer they are together, the stronger they become. It's for this reason that in the world of Bleach, the older you are, the greater the chances that you are strong. Think of characters like Yamamoto, Unohana, Kyotoku, Jushiro, and Ichibei. For example, if Yamamoto is over 1,000 years old, it means that he had 1,000 years to forge a relationship with his Zanpakuto. Compare that with someone like Toshiro who has less than 100 years under his belt, and you could make a very strong argument that the bond between Toshiro and Hyorin Maru is not as strong as the bond between Ryujin Jaka and Yamamoto. But remember, I'm not factoring in personalities and talent. In this context, we're dealing purely with the amount of time a person has. The reason I'm highlighting this is because before we move on, we have to be on the same page and in agreement of this Bleach fact. If you're a Soul Reaper, the closer you are to your Zanpakuto, the stronger you will be. That is why the first step in attaining power, namely the Shikai, is to learn the name of your sword. It's literally an introduction. From there, you converse, you share thoughts and ideologies, and grow together as companions and as individual people. So when we come to Ichigo, Kubo makes a deliberate distinction in the title of the chapter. He says, the blade and me. Who is the blade? Zangetsu. And Ichigo is the me. But Kubo specifically writes the blade and me. In other words, he and I are not the same. I am me and he is him. When you think within the context of Bleach, it makes sense that Kubo would make sure to have a distinct divide between Ichigo and Old Man Zangetsu. After learning his name, Ichigo does not speak to Zangetsu until he's forced to in the battle with Zaraki when he meets White. White Ichigo's direct words were, "Tell me, can you become best friends with someone just by asking them their name? But don't make the mistake of thinking this is only on Ichigo, because two cannot become truly close without transparency on both sides." Ichigo in his naivety did not reach out to Old Man Zangetsu and he flat out rejected White. But in the same way, Old Man Zangetsu kept the truth of his identity from Ichigo, and because White was trying to play the part of the demon chasing after Ichigo, there was no real room for constructive bonding. How could they? All three embodiments are not being honest with each other. White and Old Man Zangetsu are wrestling for control, Old Man Zangetsu lies to Ichigo for 3/4 of the series, and White is also lying to Ichigo, just not in the same way. He doesn't speak any lies, but he is being dishonest, pretending to be after Ichigo's body and power, when in fact, he doesn't. So Ichigo's inner peace is a mess. This mess remains all the way into the final arc of Bleach, where we run into the title, The Blade and Me 2. Now, in this chapter, Old Man Zangetsu finally tells Ichigo the truth. The scene is brilliant because when Ichigo first appears in his inner world, the sun is out and the skyscrapers are reaching for the skies. But the moment Ichigo realizes he's been lied to, rain starts to pour down and the skyscrapers crumble. Kubo did that just to symbolically show you how much pain Ichigo felt when he realized the truth. But, as with the title of the chapter, the Zanpakuto and the Soul Reaper are still not in synergy. It's still the blade and me. There's still a difference. They have not seen eye to eye just yet. But at the end of the chapter, after Zangetsu confesses his sins and reveals White to be Ichigo's true protector, with tears in his eyes and a proud smile on his face, he steps aside and allows Ichigo to attain his true Zanpakuto, which leads us into the next chapter, and I'm sure you know where this is going by now. Ichigo has an inner resolution, thinking back to the times where old man Zangetsu saved him, using the Quincy Shadow ability to help him, and using Blood Vein to stop the bleeding during the fight with Zaraki. He says, "I believe both you and Wyatt are Zangetsu." He places his hand into the flames and draws out two Zanpakuto, and here, Ichigo has an inner monologue that captures the essence of his journey. He says, "I won't ask you to lend me your power anymore. And to White Ichigo, I won't tell you to get out of my way anymore. I won't even say let's fight together. I'll fight for myself, because you are me. The blade is me." This right here is the essence of Bleach. Many people will constantly ask you, what is Ichigo's goal? This right here, this is Ichigo's goal. Bleach is the story of a man trying to find synergy within himself and the world around him. In order to attain that true inner balance, there are numerous mystery puzzle pieces he must find, and Kubo takes us on a journey slowly revealing the pieces necessary for Ichigo to get to this point. You must understand, Kubo's end goal when it pertains to the Zanpakuto is not a strong friendship. This is not Itadori and Sukuna forging a contract that allows them to function. This is not Lieb and Asta forming a friendship due to their common goals. This isn't even Naruto and Kurama, who will genuinely become extremely close friends. Kubo isn't talking about two distinct individual beings forming a powerful bond. No, Ichigo said it best. "I won't ask you to fight for me. I won't even ask you to fight with me. I will fight for myself, because you are me." In this moment, here stands Ichigo, with all the previously broken pieces of who he was. Whether it be the dishonesty of old man Zangetsu, or the lack of knowledge about the origin of White Ichigo, whether it be the truth of his origin being a blood descendant of Yuha, or the true reason for his mother's death, all the broken fragments of who Ichigo is as an individual, all the struggles with seeing ghosts, which led him to wishing he never had powers, along with the subsequent terror of losing said power only to feel even more unhappiness, all of that, here, in this moment, comes together in the one phrase that is, "You are me. The blade is me." The implications of this phrase can be seen everywhere in Bleach. On one level, it speaks to the power scaling side of Bleach, showing us the pathway for all the Shinigami-related characters to attain an increase in power. It's no secret that Ichigo's final power-up in the Bleach manga happens in this chapter. On a personal level, this phrase is the embodiment of the completion of Ichigo's journey. Here and now, by way of this one sentence, he knows who he is, what he wants to be, and where he wants to go. On the grand scale, when he contextualized Bleach as an entire series, Kubo always strove to keep the theme of fear, specifically the fear of death, close by. That theme exists everywhere in Bleach. The first line of Bleach is Rikia saying, "We fear that which we cannot see." All of the Shinigami's battles have all been for one goal, self-preservation. Even the gods of death feared death itself. Yuha waged war because he feared death and wanted to create a world without death. Even now, with Kubo's new chapter, New Breaths from Hell, the fear of death only compounds with the new revelations of the Konso Reisai and Spirit class. The concept of fear is everywhere in Bleach, and Kubo's answer to the existence of fear is courage. But what does courage mean for someone like Ichigo? When faced with these world-ending foes who threaten the existence of life on Earth, how do our heroes combat them? They grip their blades and fight. The inaction of courage is battling to push back fear in the hopes of exterminating it. And what is the blade to the Shinigami? The Zanpakuto. And what is the one phrase that is the embodiment of what it means to truly synergize with your Zanpakuto? The blade is me. This is why I believe that the blade is the most important phrase in Bleach. Its importance and value lies in what it means for Ichigo, what it means for the power scaling of Bleach, what it means for the theme of Bleach, but most importantly, what it means for the message of Bleach. I truly hope you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more. It's your boy Rebirth, signing off. Peace.